Hi, everyone. We are back. My Danish soulmate is here with us, Camilla Steen Larsen, and I'm so happy to see her face. And she's gonna do some amazing things. So I'm just gonna get out of her way. Here you go, Camilla.
Thank you, Lisa, and welcome everybody. Yeah, I always love to land in this very fertile, rich soil. What these conferences. I think this is my third, if I count correctly. And really, what happens when we step into community, which I know we've been cultivating this whole week, when we step into what we have a tendency to keep in the corner or wait until it's over with and then we show up. No, what happens when we really follow that need of stepping into connection and community? And that is what called me to She Is Me. It's what called me to Sweet Lisa. She got out of my way, but I can smother her in praise and the voice you hold, Lisa, and the what called me the very first time, the power of leaning into the arms of community, shoulder to shoulder, being more together than alone, so that it's not my voice only. No, we're at a common ground of togetherness where we get to share our voices and we get to, yeah, what was hidden and forbidden gets to come to the surface. And when one of us, and I'm just one voice, when one of us do it, that becomes a permission slip and a ripple and an echo inspired action to those that come after. So that's really what I'm here to bring. And that's also why I always say yes when Lisa calls me up. Um, so yeah, the whole story of embodied permission, if I would start there, and a very short little one, is exactly that. It was the story that I needed to be alone, that I not needed to alone to fix it alone. I had a whole lot of constructs of what it is to be a woman, a lover, entrepreneur, a free of choice, not having children. There were so many um, constructs or stories or yeah, kind of almost as a paradigm I stepped into. And I was noticing that for the women around me, and especially the women who came to my classes, that what what is that thing that we have? Like we need to have our shit together, and then not until then we can show up. Um, so that whole by my mind, by my will, by my very mental, very willpower um, driven way. I call it me and my badassery. I love it and it's amazing and it exhausted me. Um, so that became a whole journey into how can I create more space to that which is moving through me, which is the not enoughness or the fear or the, of being too much or the doubt. If I step out and share this, how am I going to be perceived? So the emotionality that dances with us, whether we want to listen to it or not, can we create a more spacious, a more relaxed and easeful vessel called this, the body? Um, for it to move freely through us so that we can become this as easy as a breath. Can it become an as me consciousness? So, what I desire to experience, let's say it's freedom, whenever I desire to experience something and I can be very clear about it, oftentimes it also then arises with all the same constructs and stories and belief systems that I mentioned before. And they are beautiful. That is all the freedom coming in the disguise of doubt or tenseness or, you know, struggling. Yeah. So, can we create a wide enough container, let's call it that, but a wide and soft and loose enough body to have it move through us. So it can be that only energy in motion, which emotionality is. So I was going to take us on a little journey with that today, basically in 3 words. I named this enter, express, and expand. And basically what and where I wanted to start us out with when embodied permission was birthed, and I basically took everything 25 years of teachings and trainings and educations and retreats and whatever I've done, pulled it apart, added what I thought was missing, and created what I myself needed, which was embodied permission. So it's literally a permission slip to be all that you are. And yet again, when I sometimes would hear that, just be who you are. Between you and I and whoever is watching this, I had no freaking shit idea of who I was. I knew the one who wanted something, who got shit done, who got, yeah. But the one that would be receiving, the one that would actually know what I wanted to experience, the one that could set a desired experience in motion, the one that would surrender for a compliment. All of that was very new to me territory. And what is the first thing, ladies? What's the first thing we do when something to us? I'm going to do this so you can see a little more of my body. I'm coming from Port Townsend in the rain. I'm visiting my soul family up here. So this is a new space for me. But what's the first thing, ladies, we do when we meet something new? When something is, we're doubting it or we're in change, we lock our knees. Or for me, it's always my tailbone, that little bowl that the tailbone, the second chakra actually hangs out in. I tighten it. And as soon as we tighten our lower body, being the seat of our soul, the pelvic bowl, as soon as we lower that, tighten that, our ability to be on the safe side of the nervous system decreases immensely, because the one big nerve of the vagus nerve that runs from our brain becomes part of our facial muscles or facial expression that helps that. It runs down and becomes part of our heart nerves. And then it runs through the entire body, through every single organ, and making sure about 2 things. How is everybody doing? And are you feeling safe? So that, for female-born bodies, ends right at the cervix. So the first thing we do when we're being assaulted, when something comes at us, when somebody, I don't know, in the state that our world is in, what's the first we do? We lift it up, because that's just a natural biochemical nervous system response. So the ability to lower that and to relax that is basically the foundation for any softening to happen for whatever is going through the body. And breath, that was where I came from. Breath is the only thing that's here. We enter this world on an inhale, hello world, and then eventually when we pass over to the other side, we leave on an exhale. That's the only half breaths we have in this life. Every other one is a full breathing cycle that has a filling. And there's that pause on the, I burnt myself. There's that pause on the top of the inhale until it shifts in and becoming that exhale. Yeah. And then at the valley of that exhale, there's that pause. There's that beautiful, curious body waiting for the next beginning. So let's just have a few breathing cycles. Just have it breathe through your nose, through your throat, through your heart, through your belly. Sense that fullness when we're filled with breath until it shifts into becoming an exhale. Ah. And on the floor of that exhale, just notice. I'm not asking us to hold our breath. I'm just asking us to wait there curiously as a clean, empty page, a clean canvas, until a new inhale comes. And an exhale. Ah, yes, there you go. And then the next time as we fill, inhale through the nose, through the throat. See if that exhale can continue in the same direction so that we exhale through the pelvic floor, out through the floor of us. Ah. That's it. So allowing that to be the next half hour together, just to pay attention or be with. Ah, that's it. So that whatever you and I are gonna leave with in half an hour or so, we're being breathed by it. And I'm gonna borrow you one of my favorites, and that is love. If you were receiving love, or even better, a lover with your breath, where is love needed? And on the exhale, you just allow that breath to just empty out through the genitals, your pubic bone, your tailbone, let it drop. And we can take freedom. If you were breathing in freedom, where's freedom needed? And I personally love, as I'm a mover, to give it space. So as soon as I said freedom, my body was just like, oh my God, right here at my collarbones. Inhaling, filling, and exhaling to empty fully. And whatever, I know sovereignty has been one word. What if we were breathing in sovereignty, to be sovereign? That changed everything in the way I couldn't even help it but reach my arms to the sky. I believe all of us are in some kind of living room or home space, so feel free, maybe even in your car. So that we can begin to, maybe it's just ease. Mine is always, when it becomes too mental, I choose effortlessness. So how is effortlessness being breathed through me and as me? And with your permission, as we're breathing, excuse me, allow your hands to land somewhere on your body where your body is asking to have it enter. Whether it's freedom, love, sovereignty, ease. effortlessness. My hands landed right here on my lower back, left side of it. Stay breathing, but just noticing when your hands land there. What happens with your breath? What we're basically doing here is bringing it into connection with ourselves, a body part that asks for our tending. Landing your hands there, just like you would do with a loved one, right? Oh, my neck hurts. The first thing we maybe do, can I touch? Yeah, same thing we do with ourselves here. And this is my way of entering. You can even take a step, but a way of entering is by having our hands there. And just notice what's there. Tightness. Allow the word, whatever is there. So we call it a where. Where. We enter it where? Right here in the lower back. And then I expressed what is there. Oh, tightness. And then I keep breathing it after I expressed it. My hands can maybe touch it still. I'm noticing how I'm like stroking it and massaging in my lower back a little. And then in whatever way you want to expand that. It might be by a bigger breath. It might be with a bigger movement. It might be that your hands that were touching, you begin to expand. A way of creating physical more space, more physicality for it to move. Yes, that's it. You can stay with the same. You can have your hands come back where we entered. We entered with at the lower back. And then my lower ribs began, my lower ribs on my left, so my hands land there, right there. It's almost as if we're entering into a space of information. What's here? Loneliness was the first thing that came up. And I don't need to judge it, analyze it, know why it's there, but to be able to pinpoint it like that. And again, keep breathing through the nose, through the throat, through your chest, your belly, all the way to the floor of your pelvis, and let it continue down in the same direction into the ground. And after you expressed it and entered it, this was my little loneliness, expand it, allow it to have some space. When I normally teach, I would have music going on right now, but hey, we're doing it just with the big sound of silence. Oh, yes, that's it. Keep breathing, and once you're ready, maybe even your body begins. There's one more. Maybe you're done, but my body just said, yay. Neck. So placing your hands there, take a breath, just presencing that right there. Enter it, enter that field of, what's here? Believe it or not, sovereignty came. my brain wanting to analyze it, and I want to make sovereign better than lonely. All of that is just part of being human. It's the Earth School. But today and entering and then expressing it and expanding it is just an invitation to bring more physicality, spaciousness in our physical body. Expand wherever your hands have been. This is a great little exercise or invitation when we're running too fast, writing too many emails, worrying what's next, meeting with whomever we are afraid of meeting. It just creates more space, and in your own time, allow your breath and your body just to come to right there where we began. And just listen in the terms of hear what the change is. You sense the shift? I can sense my body, the lower back, the left ribs, and the neck. It's almost as if they're infused, as if somebody had their hands on me. And guess what? Somebody did. It was just yourself. Just notice the difference from when we began to now. Yeah. And this little somatic inquiry or invitation is for me, you and I, remembering, taking remembership on this ground, on this earth. We're here for a reason. Our voices matter. But as soon as I'm hearing standing in your power, after so many years, I'm still noticing how have my habituated way of standing in my power is knees. I'm a little in effort. And I'm not talking about then the opposite is to collapse. No, but being able to be in taking that remembership while receiving all that earth has for us. She's constantly sending antioxidants and information about how we freaking belong here. It's called gravity, right? So to be held from underneath, to me, it is a conversation, it is a dialogue. Is it earth touching me? Is it earth touching you? Or is it you touching earth? Who's the receiving one? Yeah, I love that question too, yeah. Yeah. So it's a dialogue rather than us from learned ways, from my personal perspective, coming from a place of not enoughness. I walk through the world standing in my power, and I'm gonna be in my sovereignty. Yeah. And I'm saying nothing is wrong with that. I'm just curious what happens if I come from martial arts, by the way. So a fist, when you would do a fist, instead of using too much power from your shoulder, you would always, when you do a fist in martial arts, in this term Taekwondo, we would make a fist, but you would be able to see a little tiny light in there. If you're too tight, you can't see any light. But when you have a little tiny light, you have a loose fist, and you're having much more power. And again, I took all of these principles into what embodied permission is. So there's so much more power when I'm not white knuckles, as my two lower arm bones, forearms, the only bones of the body that spiral, that in of itself is a power. So when I desire and say, I desire freedom, that in of itself, or yes, be you, doing that from a soft, from a little, like with the law, with the air, the light through, is so much more a dialogue of giving and receiving in one moment. It's a dialogue and it happens simultaneously. It's a dual attention. It's a, what's the word? Double current. Yeah. So that's always what I bring, that the learned ways, nothing wrong with them, but can we bring more softness? Can we bring more supported understanding from the ground and up? That in of itself, when we do speak our voices, there's even a more supported from the whole space behind us where we get into the world. So that's again, I enter, I express, and I expand. Yeah. So that is a great tool if we're doing big speaks to people. I want to be able to both feel that relaxation and that supportedness while also being able to talk to the person 100 people down in the back of the room. But if I'm doing like this, I'm going to be exhausted. Same thing. If I'm going to be out, oh, that sovereign. Yeah, at one point, that sovereignty, it's just inevitable. So the whole idea and the whole fundament, so to speak, that embodied permission is built on is to be in the and, to be in that and that, to be in the power, but doing it with no white, to stand in remembership, but with soft knees, to speak my voice, but doing it from a lowered cervix or vagina. But nevertheless, it's the womb we're talking. When she lowers for male-born bodies, the prostate, when that lowers, first off, we breathe deeper. We take a little longer pauses so we don't react, but we actually respond, so that we can take something in, listening before we say something. And we are much more supported from behind that and underneath. That means that it's again, it's a given, it's a dialogue. So that in that dialogue, in that listening, that's really where I get to be with what Lisa shared before we went into live here. Who am I? It's about who we really are, and also to bring it into connection, even from my perspective, when we don't know who we are. But I am in listening, I am in practicing, I am practicing speaking up. So would you listen? Or I'm practicing self-love. So would you receive me while I'm saying I am beauty? You see what I mean? It's not about having the whole our shit together, but it's about being in the togetherness and in the community. And what Lisa, you beautifully said, to be touching and be in touch with one another. How much that's the new world, right? But in order for me, this is now speaking for me, to do that, I have needed to uncloak myself for some heavy stories or heavy memories, so to speak, of the past. So that every time I step into a connection, into communion with one another and into community, I don't necessarily have to drag that heavy cloak. But I can show up, I can enter, and then I can express what is what is there, and in order to do that, we need to know what is actually there, and that's that journey we just had. Truth. It doesn't need to take longer than that. My throat just asked, my hands landed there, truth was the first word, and I'm expanding it. And expanding can be just a little 360-degree awareness, so that truth knows that truth was just, you just received me. And then I can go about my day, and I can step into, after this call, and I'm speaking with Lisa, and there we are. Wow, when I spoke about my throat and talked about truth, it felt like my ribs landed even deeper, and there was this, like, almost as if I noticed how my heels just rooted into the ground, and then all of a sudden I remembered that I belong here, that I'm here, sovereign. Like, I came out of hiding. Yeah. Can you imagine the conversations we then have, and the honesty, and the level of, yeah, truth telling? And that's the whole idea of both this little workshop, or whatever we should call it, this little time slot that I had. But it's basically what embodied permission, and the why behind I created it. It is that you matter, I matter, you matter, we matter. It's not only are we necessary, we are needed as we take remembership. And in order for everyone to be more together than alone, it's the ability to grow those roots together, and if one is weak, we as a community can widen and hold, have their back. But in order to do that, I need to constantly be aware of the dance intimate, the dance of below my skin that's going on constantly. And can I be that as being supported by the ground rather than walking up on top of her? Deep breath. Yeah. So those small little 3 words, entering. I entered this house yesterday. It's family, but I haven't been here for 5 years. It was under the pandemic, 5.5 years. And I enter and I express the gratitude that is in me of, wow, it doesn't feel like it was 5 years ago. It feels like I was here all along. And we can all say, yeah, of course you are, because you're in our hearts, and you're in, that's family. And the ability to notice it and express it and expand it as much as, wow, I've been 6 weeks. Now I'm doing it with myself. I've been 6 weeks in the US. I feel traveled out a little. Like, there's been a lot of meetings, there's been a lot of teachings, there's been a lot, and right here there's that silent integration happening. Phew. It doesn't have to be more than that. But it's a way that I can enter any conversation. It's a way that I can step into this meeting and meeting whoever I'm going to meet later on today with, there's right here in my chest, I'm sensing that there's a silent integration. That will be an inspiration for that other person to be mirrored in, wow, I was just wondering how you're doing. Yeah. And then all of a sudden the depth of that conversation, and that will be a ripple effect for the next meeting and the next meeting and the next meeting. And for me personally, I really believe that is a very key point of sovereignty. To be able to find safety within ourselves. And once we do that, the only one we need permission from is us. But it also requires some willingness and some boldness to show up with what is there. And I mean, enter, expressing, and expanding. Enter by touching, expressing what is there. We could also call it where and what is there, and then following that. That is a way of always being aware, because that was what I wanted to take us out on today, to be aware that this is my body's, let's call it the tune. It's not Miles Davis or Stevie Wonder, but the tune that is playing. The lower back, there was some tightness, my ribs, there was a little loneliness, and up here in the neck was some sovereignty, and then the truth. You see, I've already had my meditation, my mindfulness practice in a very short time, so that when I step into kid's birthday, which is the reason why I'm up here, my godson's birthday, when I step in, I'm aware of what is accompanying, what is coming along with me, so that when we walk, whatever, through co-op or flying home next week through an airport, there is a field below the skin, and there's for sure a field around us that we occupy. And it's a 360-degree space around the heart, around the head, around the hips, behind the knees, around them. Yeah. There's a full space that comes along with me. And the way that we can, let's just breathe one breath. And whether you're sitting on a chair, or if you're upstanding, you're maybe even having me in your ears and doing something different, just take a half step back. Just notice what happens when we take half a step back. Maybe we see the world from a little broader perspective. One more, take half a step back. Yeah. One more, taking half a step back. And if you're sitting down, you can just lean half an inch back into the heart, behind the heart. Keep breathing. Beautiful. And whether you're sitting or on your feet like me, as the name says it, permission was one word that I very clearly decided that I wanted to occupy. I wanted the space around me to be permission embodied, so that everybody that comes into my teachings or my mentorships or workshops or trainings, whatever, or family, that they have a permission to be themselves out loud in all that they are. There's nothing called too much. So that in of itself, to be able to walk through co-op with permission, or like we started, freedom. There's a full 360 field that is then occupied, and you're the center. Wherever you go, the field moves with you. The temenos moves with you. Opa, that was a lap. Oh. So the becoming the remembering. Whatever you desire to experience. I don't know if we will ever see us again, but you've had a little glimpse of what embodied permission is. What is it that you desire to experience? What is it that you wish to give permission for? And that might be one that you put on a blank piece of paper and just leave it the empty, what needs my permission? And you leave that page blank for the next day or two until the answer lands. Or maybe it's already has landed as soon as I asked it. Well, yes, self-love or sovereignty or creativity or happiness, whatever we desire to experience, be clear, bring it into connection. I desire to experience feeling limitless. Ask that body after a breath, does it need your hands anywhere? I'm back at that lower back. What is there? Trust, okay? And then we allow trust to be expanded. I'm still desiring limitlessness, and my body just gave me lower back trust, expand. And then that 360-degree space around us, you just fill it with all that you accompany, what you're accompanied by this space, and that is limitlessness, or whatever your word is. I think we have one place where these will be, where you can also watch the replays. I will go there and read the comments. And if you're in here now with us, write it. The power of writing, I desire to experience limitlessness. And maybe even taking a shape as it. Expressing what your body is coming up with. The whole why we do this is to come out of the head. Yeah, but you can't. No, this is to have small little constant anchor points. So you and your body becomes buddies, becomes co-partners and co-pilots. So that whatever formlessness of doubt and fear and tightness and too muchness and not enoughness and whatever we can accompany ourselves with in this amazing earth company, earth school, that they have, it's just formlessness. Can we give it, that comes into the form of the body, can we give it as much space to have its way with us so it can move freely through us? I desire to experience limitlessness, and my body just had the trust. So, okay. And whatever is coming up, then it might be, okay, there goes a bottom. If it's your hands touching, there are small little emotions and somatic or physicality that accompanies us in what we desire to experience. The power of writing it down and the willingness to be with what occurs, what comes to surface, what comes alive when we desire something we desire to experience. That is all juicy information of how we have a tendency to be in our own way. And for me, sovereignty was one of the words for our week. That is the sovereignty of standing up, to standing in our power, the power of being both the strength, the Viking as I am, as well as the subtle, surrendered, lean back. I'm just going to lean back and allow it to unfold the way it wants to be unfold, or let's say entered, expressed, and expanded through me. So go there, write in the chat. If you want to find me, just type in my name or embodied permission. Write me, reach out. Let's stay in connection. She is Me Global is this amazing community and platform that we all can reach out and be reached in. We're not in this alone. We are more together. We're much more together. So I'm so grateful for your time, for your taking membership. And I think we are about time. I'm not sure, but nevertheless, allow your heels, your hips, your heart, and your head and your hands to just be those amazing, unique expressors. This was a tiny little journey of what of how much wisdom the body carries when we listen. So let's be in touch and keep touching one another. Into our body's truth, which was today's headline. And now I have something in my eye, so sorry to squeeze my eye here. Yeah, please feel free to reach out. I do have online courses where we go much deeper into journeys, and I will also be back in the US if you want to catch me in person, or maybe in Europe. Who knows? It has truly been a delight, and I think Lisa will come and join us. There
I'm
she
back.
is.
I'm feeling
Oh,
loose now. I'm feeling
right.
loose and free and good.
I'm happy about that. Me too.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here always. I'll be back anytime you reach out.
I know you will. Thank you so
Yes.
much for being here. Thank you for bringing your energy and your
Mm.
love. It's so wonderful. And I
Mm.
think I'm going to see you in a couple of days. Am I right? Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. And again, thank you. Everything you bring to us is always so amazing. So thank you for taking time out of your trip. And we appreciate you. And I want to hug you. Hug, hug, hug. And I'll see you soon.
Yes, love.
Thank you. Mwah.
Thank you, love.
Okay. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to be back with Amanda Anderson. So stay tuned.
Yee.